How's it going, Pokemon trainers? We have got another Pokemon Go basics video for you today. We're doing this here from this ottoman. I'm sitting today, I'm in my PJs. It's raining out. I haven't been outside to play Pokemon Go in I don't know how long. Anyway, today we are going to talk about all of the best ways to grind XP as fast as possible in Pokemon Go for the year 2022. Okay trainers, welcome to this video, especially if you are a new Pokemon trainer who is looking for ways to grind XP and get yourself to level 40, max out at level 50 as fast as you possibly can. You've come to the right place. We are going to go over all of our tips and tricks for how to maximize the amount of XP that you can get in the game, whether you are a free-to-play and or casual Pokemon Go trainer, or someone who plays every single day and often goes out and grinds and spends hours playing. We're going to cover it all. If this is your first time on the channel and you find this video helpful and you're interested in more Pokemon Go news, tips, tricks, recaps, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you if you do. So with that all being said, let's get right into this. So now just to orient you to what we're going to talk about here, we're giving you 15 total tips on how to grind XP. So if you need to, grab a notepad, grab a pen, jot these tips down, and make sure to stay all the way through all 15 of these tips. First up, number one biggest tip I have for you is to strategize how you use your lucky eggs. Now, depending on the type of player that you are, you could be very casual, free to play player, which means that you're not going to be spending money on lucky eggs and you're going to rely on the lucky egg rewards we get from various events and research. So this tip is going to be most important for you. If you're someone who just spends money like crazy, you have all the lucky eggs in the world, you're probably pretty familiar with the best times to use them, but hopefully you find this information helpful as well. So in Pokemon Go, by far the best time to utilize a lucky egg is if you have multiple friendships that are going to hit best friends, coordinated and ready to pop all at once. In case you don't know already, hitting best friends with another trainer in the game rewards you 100,000 XP. 100,000 XP by itself is a lot, so it is kind of useful to use a lucky egg even for one best friend activation. So if you are someone who uses lucky eggs and buys them very often, you're probably going to want to make sure you use a lucky egg for every single best friend. Now, if you're someone who is free to play, let's say you have one lucky egg in your storage and you want to maximize that 2 times XP from that lucky egg, what I recommend doing is waiting until you have several best friends saved up with 1 day left, ready to hit best friend. If you're able to coordinate with other trainers that you're friends with in the game, this is very, very helpful. If you aren't able to coordinate, then you're going to want to control that gift open by making sure that the final gift exchange is them sending you a gift. Make sure that you do not send the other trainer a gift. You are in possession of that gift. That way you can control when you open it. This isn't super easy to do if you're not able to communicate with the trainer that you're friends with in game, so it might actually take several tries before you can line up a bunch of friends that you can open to best friend at the same time. The next best time to use a lucky egg is when we have XP bonus events in the game. So very often we see 3 times XP bonuses in different events, especially community day events. Now 3 times XP bonus is the highest bonus that Pokemon Go is ever going to give us. At least the history is showing 3 times XP is the highest they will go. However, there have been times where events have stacked. For instance, if I remember correctly, there was a in-game event. It was just some random event where the entire event had a 3 times catch XP bonus, and then there was a spotlight hour that coincided with that event, and the spotlight hour bonus was the standard 2 times XP. If I remember correctly, during that spotlight hour, that XP did stack. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember that happening, but I also remember there being another time where Niantic set it so that they wouldn't stack. So it's kind of hit or miss. I think maybe that stacking XP could perhaps have been an oversight by Niantic, but either way, always look out for 3 times XP bonuses and always look out to see if there's any overlapping events, and then check in with your friends in New Zealand and Australia to see if there really was stacked XP bonuses. So a 3 times XP bonus in the game is the next best time to utilize your lucky egg. This is especially useful if you're going out to grind, if you're good at excellent throws, and you can really maximize that XP bonus alongside the lucky egg. Tip number 2. Now this one is very small, but it does add up, especially for players who play very regularly and go out and grind. If you have high spawn locations where you live, it's a good place to go ahead and get really good at doing this, as well as utilizing it all the time. And that is the Curveball Throw. Now, if you're a new player, you might not know what the Curveball Throw is yet. You might have only discovered that you can throw the ball just straight towards the Pokemon. There is a curveball technique that you can use in the game, and honestly, once you master that curveball technique, you're never going to want to throw your ball straight ever again. Now, if you are able to catch a Pokemon Pokemon using the curveball technique, that's gonna add a additional 20 XP to your catch. Now that is a very, very small amount, but like I said earlier, if you're out grinding and catching like Pokemon after Pokemon after Pokemon after Pokemon, doing the curveball is a very, very simple technique that will add up very fast. So I consider it a very high return on reward for the effort that you're putting into the game to get that extra XP. So if you're not already mastering that curveball throw, make sure you're practicing it so that you're always using it. Never use straight throws in Pokemon Go. I personally find them harder than curveball throws. Tip number 3. Now along those same lines, you're also going to want to master your excellent throws. Now sometime within the past year, Pokemon Go upped the XP reward for excellent throws to 1000 XP. I can't even remember what it used to be, but it definitely was not that good. It might have been down at like 500. I can't remember, but 1000 XP for capturing a Pokemon that you hit with an excellent throw is insane to me. So at this point in Pokemon Go in 2022, it is more important than ever to start mastering your excellent throws. Now, if you've been playing at all, you probably discovered that they're quite hard to make, especially if you're new to the game and not used to making throws. And almost every single Pokemon has a different technique that needs to be used to hit an excellent throw. Some Pokemon are closer, some are super far away, and those details all contribute to how easy or hard it is to hit excellent throws. So this does require a lot of practice. So if you're new to the game and you get frustrated by these excellent throws, don't worry. They're really, really hard to get, especially on certain Pokemon. Some are easier than others. We just had Spheal Community Day recently, and Spheal is one of the Pokemon that's super easy to hit excellent throws on. And additionally, legendary Pokemon are also really easy to hit excellent throws on. So keep that in mind. I think legendary Pokemon are a great place to practice your excellent throws. Now, I've made some other videos kind of going over the ways to do excellent throws and some different techniques you can use in the game to make getting an excellent throw to stick a little bit easier. I will drop a link to that video down in the description if you need help learning how to make excellent throws in Pokemon Go. But that is definitely something you need to be using. It's one of the best and easiest ways to grind XP very fast in Pokemon Go. Practice your excellent throws. Number 4. Now, I'm kind of on the fence about even putting this one in this video because you really, really, really have to master this technique for it to be useful, especially if you're out grinding. Now, I personally almost don't want to recommend using this technique if you are out at a busy event like a Calm Day or a Spotlight Hour and you're outside at a place that has lots of spawns, because this technique is going to slow you down a little bit. I recommend using this if you're just sitting at home, you're using an incense, you're not walking, the incense is spawning every 60 seconds or however often it does when you're sedentary. That might be a good time to use this technique because you have more time to focus on each Pokemon's capture, and that is catching the Pokemon in AR mode. Now, when you use the AR Plus mode, which you can activate in the game by going into your settings, scroll a little bit down, you'll see it in there. You're gonna want to toggle on that Niantic AR Plus. Now, once you have that on and you go to encounter a Pokemon, it should automatically come up for you in AR mode. If not, there's a button you can hit at the top right corner that will toggle AR mode on or off for you. Now, once you do this, it's going to give you the availability to get a expert handler bonus on your catch. Now, I also have a video about this. I'll link that down in the description too, so I don't spend too much time covering it here. But essentially, this is going to require you to actually sneak up on the Pokemon in AR mode. If you move too quickly, it gets scared. But if you successfully sneak up on the Pokemon and then hit it and catch it successfully, you're going to get a 300 XP bonus for being an expert handler. So like I said, this does slow you down because you do actually physically need to walk towards the Pokemon very slowly in AR mode. I am not good at all at this technique, but I'm sure with a lot of practice, you could probably get that catch technique down to a decent enough amount of time that it is actually worth it to be using that all the time. But again, take this one kind of with a grain of salt because it might slow you down and do more harm than good if you're trying to grind XP fast. Number 5, make sure you are doing your daily catches and daily Pokestop spins every single day. Now, I'm going to talk directly to the casual players here, the people who normally don't open their game every single day. If you are someone who plays every few days, but you're still very interested in grinding XP and still getting to level 50 as fast as you can, I'm going to recommend that no matter what, even if you don't have time to actually play, make sure to open your game every single day. Now, if you don't live or work at a place that you can access a Pokestop very easily and you actually need to go out to find one, that does make it a little bit more difficult, but try to be cognizant of the fact that when you're out and you know that you're going to be near Pokestops, try to remind yourself, oh, hey, open up Pokemon Go. Because the first Pokemon catch and the first Pokestop spin every single day is going to reward you bonus XP. Additionally, in case you don't already know, you are given one daily spawn in the game every single day. So no matter where you are, you could be in your bed without any house spawns, there will be one Pokemon that will spawn for you first time you open up your game every single day. Now, for this Pokemon and the first Pokestop you spin each day, you're going to get 1500 XP. For each of those actions. So as long as you open up your game every single day, you can make your first catch on a Pokemon and get 1500 XP without hardly having to do anything. And then find that Pokestop, that's another 1500 XP. Now, if you do this consecutively for 7 days, on the 7th day, that bonus is going to jump up to 6000 XP for both. So that means the Pokemon catch is going to be worth 6000 XP and the Pokestop spin is going to be worth 6000 XP. Now these days are consecutive. So if you do one day and you miss the day after, that clock is going to reset. So that's why it's really, really important to not only make sure you're jumping in every day, but that you're not missing any days, because that 6000 XP bonus on day 7 is wonderful. Number 6, speaking of doing daily things in Pokemon Go, another really important thing to consider if you're only a casual player but you want to try to open the game at least once per day is completing one research task. So now, of course, research tasks are what you get from spinning Pokestops. They go into your research tab. You can go in there, find one that's easy to do, and complete that one for the day. Additionally, Pokemon Go does give you a bonus research task every single day without even spinning a Pokestop. So this is another great thing that Pokemon Go has given to trainers who might perhaps not be able to leave their house one day. You might be swamped with work, you might be at school, and you can't really play anywhere else. So you'll get that one free research each day, and usually it's something really easy like make 3 curveball throws or catch 3 Pokemon, and usually the rewards are pretty crappy, like a piece of fruit or something. The most important thing about this is that you will get your research stamp for the day. Now, once you complete 7 research stamps, you get a research breakthrough. Now, unlike spinning the daily stops and catching the daily Pokemon, these do not have to be consecutive. You can only get 1 stamp per day, and then every single day that you complete at least 1 research task, you will get a stamp. Again, they don't have to be consecutive, but you get more XP if you do it consecutively in 7-day streaks, because you get the XP more often. So when you do finally complete your research breakthrough, not only do you get an encounter with whatever the special Pokemon is for the month, you're going to also get 3000 XP. So this is another one of the great ways to get XP without really having to do anything complicated or tedious in the game. And if you do it consecutively every 7 days, that's a bonus 3000 XP for you. Next up, number 7, raids. Do raids. Now, raiding is another kind of player spectrum where you could be a really casual or free-to-play player who really relies only on having that daily raid pass to raid at an in-person raid somewhere. Additionally, every week we do get a 1 coin bundle, so if you are someone who only purchases that 1 coin bundle each week, then you know you get 1 free remote raid pass each week. Not quite as helpful as going out and being able to use your free daily in-person pass, but a raid for essentially free no matter what. So now I'm going to recommend that if you are a free-to-play player and you are relying on your 1 coin remote pass or your daily free in-person passes, you're going to want to spend that pass on a legendary raid because those reward the most XP. So quickly, let's just go over this. Tier 1 raids reward 3500 XP for winning. Tier 3 rewards 5000 XP, and then Tier 5 Mega or EX raids, which aren't in the game right now, but those top tier raids will reward you 10,000 XP for winning the battle. So if you're only getting 1 raid pass per week or per day, you're definitely going to want to use it on a 5-star or Mega raid so that that 1 pass will net you 10,000 XP versus only 3,500. Now, if you're someone who buys raid passes like crazy, it doesn't really matter. You can use them on any raids you want because you're going to be spending money on those passes anyway. And especially the lower tier 1-star raids that you can do as a solo trainer, that's a really easy way to get 3,500 XP. But of course, again, that is if you spend money regularly in the game and have endless raid passes. Number 8, send gifts to friends every single day. Now, this one is a little bit more of a tedious task, but it is very, very lucrative if you do have the time and the patience to be doing this technique every single day. Now, for me, this is something that I try to do every single day, especially if I'm home on Incense, because I'm already connected to my phone at home playing the game. And I know that when I'm not moving around, those Pokemon are only going to spawn like every 30 to 60 seconds. I can't remember the exact spawn time. So that means in between every single spawn and catch, I'm able to jump into my Pokemon Go friends list and send 2 to 3 gifts and then pop back out to catch that next spawn. So it's a pretty decent way to use an hour of your time if you're already doing Incense, mix in those friend gift sends, because every single gift that you send in Pokemon Go rewards you with 200 XP. Now, I believe the maximum amount of gifts you can send in the game is 120, but that kind of caps out at the fact that you can only earn 100 gifts per day from Pokestops. So that means you're really only gonna be able to send a max of 100 gifts per day if you're doing it every day. If you already have 20 gifts in your storage, you can use all those and then get 100 more and send 120 gifts in one day. But again, It's a lot of work, very tedious. Even if you're not maxing that out every single day, sending gifts is a very easy thing. It takes only a couple seconds to send one single gift, and you're gonna get 200 XP for that. But just in case you're curious, if you do send 100 gifts per day, that's an extra 20,000 XP per day. Now, it is a little bit more tedious than some of the other techniques, but it's 20,000 XP nonetheless every single day. Tip number 9, we're gonna stay here on the friendship aspect of getting XP. And if you're someone who does have a lot of friends in game, you're probably very used to the fact that there can be very, very lucrative XP rewards from building friendships with other trainers. So I know there are a lot of trainers out there. I've seen comments on some of my content where people say, well, I don't have any friends that play Pokemon Go. Now that's very, very fair, especially if you're younger. You want to make sure you're being safe. You don't want to be adding a ton of random people from the internet, but it is pretty easy to find safe spaces on the internet where you can add other Pokemon Go trainers that you don't know in real life. Let's say if you have a favorite content creator, they might have a Discord or they might stream on Twitch, and there might be some people that you're pretty familiar with that are in those Discords or regulars on their Twitch streams that you can feel pretty comfortable adding on Pokemon Go, exchanging friend codes with a bunch of people, etc. If you're less worried about that, if you're older, if you're an adult and you can use any place on the internet, one place that is really, really useful is the Pokemon Go Friends subreddit. There's always people on there exchanging codes, looking for people to raid with, etc., etc. So that's a really good way. Build up your friends list in Pokemon Go, and as you should know by now, you can have up to 400 friends in Pokemon Go. So anyway, back to the XP rewards. So for your very first interaction with a in-game friend in Pokemon Go, you will earn 3,000 XP. That is when you become good friends. That's your reward. The next step up is great friends, and for that you're rewarded 5,000 XP. The next step up is ultra friends, and you'll be rewarded 50,000 XP. So we're starting to see these get really, really high. And then once you reach best friends with another trainer, you're going to get a whopping 100,000 XP. So adding friends in Pokemon Go is very, very important if you are someone who is looking to grind up XP fast. You're going to want to be making friends and interacting with them every single day. Now, again, like we talked about earlier, if you do have a best friendship that is coming up, you can always check how many days are left by clicking into the hearts on the friend's profile. When you look at it in the friend list, it will show you how many days until you hit the next stage up. So it's very easy to coordinate a bunch of different either ultra friends or best friends all on the same day and pop a lucky egg, which will double that XP. So again, like we said earlier, depending on how many lucky eggs you normally have on average in the game, you're definitely going to want to tailor whether or not you can afford the lucky egg to open just one ultra or best friend, or if you need to group a ton together and really maximize that single lucky egg for those double XP bonuses, because 200,000 XP in one fell swoop in Pokemon Go is really, really good. On to number 10. This one is also going to have to do with friendship. So as we said in the last tip, becoming good friends with another trainer only requires one single interaction to reward you with 3,000 XP. Now this one maybe is a little bit shady. I don't know. I hope it's not against the terms of service. It's something that I do see happen very regularly, especially on Reddit, the Pokemon Go Friends subreddit that I mentioned. It is very, very common to see on there trainers who are looking to add friends specifically to get that first interaction, earn that 3,000 XP, and then immediately delete you. Again, if you're just adding strangers from the internet, this is actually a really, really good way to grind XP. You can go onto Reddit and grab a ton of friend codes. If you want to be ethical, try to find other trainers that are also looking to just get that 3,000 XP and then be gone, so that you don't add someone new and they're gonna think they have a new friend that they can grind to best friends, and then the next day you're gone. So that's totally up to you. Follow your heart. So now, just to give you an idea of the math on this, let's say you go on Reddit and you grab 20 friend codes, send them all out. That should take about 10 to 15 minutes to do, depending on how fast you are. Probably within the first 24 hours, you're gonna be able to get your first friend interaction for each one of those trainers, and that's gonna net you 60,000 XP for 10 to 15 minutes of work. And you can do this every single day if you have the time and the energy to do so. Tip number 11. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to gyms, and we've got several tips for you for how to utilize gyms, not raid battles, but gyms in Pokemon Go to grind XP. The first tactic is you're going to want to feed berries to Pokemon in gyms from your same team. So that means if you're on Team Valor, you're going to want to look for other gyms that are being held also by Team Valor. Giving berries to Pokemon in gyms does net you XP, and that XP is 50 XP for every single berry you feed. So now you can feed up to 10 berries to each individual Pokemon every 30 minutes. Now if there's the maximum amount of 6 Pokemon in a gym and you feed every single one of those Pokemon the maximum amount of 10 berries, that's going to net you 3,000 XP for every half hour, which if you just keep doing this, you're getting 6,000 XP per hour per gym. Now another thing to consider here is that if you have a Pokemon in a gym gym, defending that gym, you do not have to be physically present at the gym to feed them berries. You can actually go into your Today View tab and it will show you what Pokemon you have defending gyms. If you click on that Pokemon, it will take you to the gym where you can feed all of the Pokemon in that gym berries. It doesn't matter how far away the gym is. It could be halfway across the world. You are still able to go into that gym and feed every single Pokemon in there berries. So that's another good reason to go around and put Pokemon in gyms. You get the free coins for defending a gym, but it also gives you an opportunity, especially if you're sitting around at home bored, you can just jump into all these gyms every half hour, feed a bunch of berries, and earn a lot of XP very quickly for doing very minimal tasks. Okay, number 12, this is kind of a back to Pokemon Go basics tip, and that is to evolve your Pokemon. Now, when Pokemon Go first came out, there weren't a lot of ways to grind XP, and the main way that trainers were grinding XP was by evolving Pokemon like Pidgey and Caterpie, because they only required 12 candy to evolve. Now, back then, evolution XP rewards were way lower. I think it was 500 for the first evolution and 1000 if there was a second evolution, but now all evolutions are a flat 1000 XP. And now we have way more Pokemon in the game that have a low candy cost to evolve. We have so many Pokemon, and if you've been playing for a really long time, you probably have enough candy for Pokemon that require 25 candy to make that evolution. So now, again, this is another one that you really need to be like sitting down somewhere and kind of bored to go through this, because this is another really tedious way to grind XP. But if you do want to use this technique, of course I'm going to recommend Pokemon that only cost 12 candy because it's just more lucrative that way. You should also consider Pokemon that have a 0 candy cost after trade. So now typically you have Pokemon like Abra, for example, who has a third evolution that costs a ton of candy unless you trade, and then it drops down to 0. However, Pokemon like Abra do require you to make that first trade, so it still would cost candy if you used a Pokemon like that. However, now there are only 2 evolution stage Pokemon in the game that require trading. The only 2 I can think of off the top of my head are Phantump and Pumpkaboo, who were released into the game last October. They each only have 1 evolution and do require a trade to knock that candy cost down to 0. So don't worry if you don't have any of those Pokemon right now. Keep that in mind. They'll probably be back again in October of 2022, but Pokemon like that are really good to keep, trade, and then save for when you want to do some mass evolutions, especially if you've got like a spotlight hour that has a 2 times XP bonus for evolving Pokemon. That is when you want to save those specific Pokemon for, to really maximize the time you spend evolving that Pokemon and get the biggest bang for your buck on XP. So now tip number 13, we kind of touched on it in number 12 just a couple seconds ago, but you really want to, in Pokemon Go, keep your eye on spotlight hour bonuses in particular. Now, if you're not familiar with spotlight hours, perhaps you're a new or casual player, these are bonus hours that happen every single Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. local time, and essentially it's just one Pokemon that spawns for the hour they're in the spotlight, and you always get a bonus for the hour as well. Now, these bonuses vary from week to week, but you can always expect to see, for the most part, some sort of double XP bonus. So that could be double XP for catching Pokemon or double XP for evolving Pokemon. So we just talked about the evolutions in the last one, so you're definitely going to want to mark your calendars for those evolution bonus spotlight hours every single month so that you can start storing low candy evolution Pokemon to save for that hour, especially if the Pokemon in the spotlight isn't something you really care about. Now, on the spotlight hours where we have a 2 times catch XP bonus, this can be really lucrative. So let's do a little boring math here for these 2 different bonuses. Let's start with the evolution XP. Let's just say that you can do 60 evolutions during an hour. Now, if that bonus for the hour is 2 times evolution XP and you pop 2 lucky eggs to carry you through that entire hour, that means each evolution is going to net you 4000 XP. Now, if you successfully evolve 60 Pokemon during that hour, that adds up to 240,000 XP for 1 hour of gameplay. Now, if the bonus is 2 times XP for catching Pokemon, obviously you can catch Pokemon at a much faster rate than you can evolve Pokemon. So consider this: if you're doing a spotlight hour with a 2 times catch XP bonus, you've got 1 hour worth of lucky eggs going, and you're a master at excellent throws, you're also going to see 4000 XP minimum for catching each Pokemon. Now, depending on where you're playing and how good you are at catching, and if you're able to do a fast catch technique, I will also drop a link down in the description for how to fast catch, because the fast catch technique comes in very handy for XP grinds. Just think about the math for this. Every single Pokemon catch for 1 whole hour could net you at the very least 4000 XP. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who catch very high numbers during spotlight hour. Let's just say you're even catching 100 Pokemon. I think you can probably get 100 Pokemon from an incense at home over the course of 1 hour. And at a rate of 4000 1,000 XP per catch, that's 400,000 XP for 1 hour. Now that's going to greatly increase if you're actually outside at a high spawn location. Often I see people complaining about how bad the Pokemon are, but kind of forgetting that those bonuses can go a very long way. Okay, next up, number 14, let's jump back to gym battles. So whether or not you are a player who battles gyms regularly, I personally don't. That's not my favorite part of Pokemon Go. But if you're someone who likes to battle gyms, likes to take over gyms, this is also another very lucrative way to get XP, especially if you're doing this anyway. And I consider this a casual way to earn XP. Essentially, battling a gym, every single Pokemon that you knock out of a gym is going to reward you 300 XP, and then on the final Pokemon of that gym, you'll get a 150 XP bonus, and then the total for defeating a gym is 1,000 XP. So in comparison to some other techniques for grinding XP, this one does require a little bit more work, but again, if you're someone who's battling anyway and enjoys battling, this is a very casual way to get even more XP without really even thinking about it. Okay, next up, our last tip number 15 is going to have to do with eggs. You need to be hatching strange eggs all the time. Do not ever let a strange egg sit in your inventory. Now, you probably already know that you get a pretty decent amount of XP for hatching eggs. However, not all eggs are created equal. So now I sat down and I did the math for this. There's a really good chance that this math could be wrong because I'm terrible at simple math. But let's go through these different egg hatch XP rewards. So hatching a 2-kilometer egg nets you 500 XP. This works out to be 250 XP per kilometer walked. Now this is if you're just using a regular incubator and there's no quarter hatch distance or any bonuses. So the baseline for this is going to be 250 XP per kilometer walked for 2-kilometer eggs. Now a 5-kilometer egg is going to reward you 1,000 XP, which works out to be only 200 XP per kilometer walked. So not as lucrative as a 2-kilometer egg. Keep that in mind. Now I know that 5-kilometer eggs are one of the most common, but they're not as lucrative to hatch. Next up, we have our 7-kilometer friendship eggs. Now these reward you 1,500 XP upon hatching, and that works out to be about 214 XP per kilometer walked. So kind of in between the 2K and the 5K. Now for 10K eggs, you're going to get 2,000 XP for hatching. Again, this one works out to be pretty bad. It's only 200 XP per kilometer walked for 10K eggs. So it's down there with those 5K eggs. 12-kilometer eggs, these strange eggs that you get from Team Go Rocket Leaders, reward you 4,000 XP for 12 kilometers of walking. Now this one works out to be about 333 XP per kilometer walked. So strange eggs are by far the most lucrative egg hatches. Of course, you do have to take into account that these are the hardest and most rare to get because you do actually have to defeat a ton of rockets and leaders and have the egg space to get those strange eggs. But that is why my tip is to always have a strange egg on an incubator. Now, in addition, like I said before, that was just your standard incubator with no walking distance bonuses for hatching eggs. You're gonna have to do a lot of other math if there's any in-game bonuses that reduce hatch distance, if you're using a super incubator, because of course with bonuses like that, let's say you have a 12-kilometer egg on a regular incubator and you've got a 2-kilometer egg on a super incubator, obviously that 2-kilometer egg is going to be more lucrative at that point than the 12-kilometer. So you do need to kind of do some math there, or you can just hatch eggs as usual because there's going to be XP anyway. But if you want to get really technical, strange eggs are where it's at. Okay, Pokemon trainers, so that's going to do it. Those are our 15 top tips on how to grind XP super fast in Pokemon Go in the year 2022. Now, I know there's probably a lot of older videos out there that have all these tips as well. Just keep in mind that within the past year, we've seen a lot of XP tinkering. Like I said, the evolutions are now all 1,000 instead of 500 like they used to be. And there's several other little tiny bits and pieces of where we get XP from the game that have changed over the last year. And a lot of things that have greatly changed from the very beginning. So hopefully you find this video shortly after it's released so that none of this is outdated. Additionally, we're also going to be making a video on how to grind Stardust super fast in Pokemon Go in 2022. So make sure to drop a subscribe if you found this video helpful, if you're interested in that further information. Hopefully we'll see you again when we do that video. But anyway, I really do hope you found this helpful. If there are any tips you have about grinding XP fast in Pokemon Go that I missed or I didn't cover in this video, definitely let me know down in the comments so that we can help other trainers, especially new trainers to Pokemon Go, because there are a lot of you out there. All right, as always, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!